The Forbidden Cave. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows over the village of Eldergrove. Its vibrant fields shimmered in the fading light, but for 6-year-old Ren, the world outside his home felt too small. Today was a day for adventure, and the mysterious woods beyond the village beckoned him with promises of secrets and excitement. Just a quick explore, Ren promised himself, slipping past his mother as she tended to dinner. He barely heard her call after him, his heart racing with anticipation as he dashed toward the treeline. As he ventured deeper into the woods, the air grew cooler and thick with the scent of damp earth. Birds chirped overhead, and the sound of rustling leaves accompanied him. He followed a narrow path that twisted and turned, his imagination running wild with thoughts of hidden treasures and ancient mysteries. After what felt like hours, Ren stumbled into a clearing dominated by a massive cave, its entrance dark and foreboding. A shiver of excitement and fear coursed through him. The village elders often spoke of this place, warning that it was home to a powerful being, a demon king imprisoned long ago. Ren had dismissed those stories as mere tales, but now, standing before the cave, doubt crept into his mind. With a mixture of trepidation and curiosity, Ren approached the cave's mouth. The air inside was cool and stale, sending a chill down his spine. As his eyes adjusted to the dim light, he noticed strange markings on the walls, symbols that glowed faintly. Drawn to them, he reached out to trace one with his finger, marveling at the intricate designs. Suddenly, a low rumble echoed through the cave, vibrating the ground beneath his feet. "Who dares disturb my slumber?" A deep voice boomed, reverberating off the stone walls. Ren's heart raced as he stepped back, panic surging through him. I'm sorry. I just wanted to explore," he stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. From the shadows behind a massive iron gate, a pair of glowing red eyes emerged. "You are but a child," the voice continued, now laced with a mix of curiosity and menace. "Yet you possess an unyielding spirit. What brings you to my prisons?" "I wanted to see what was here," Ren replied, feeling small and insignificant under the weight of the Demon King's gaze. "I've heard stories about you." "Stories, yes," the voice mused, a dark amusement echoing within. "Very well, little one. You have intrigued me, but power comes with a price. Do you seek to know the secrets of the universe? The art of battle that can topple empires?" Ren hesitated, fear and excitement battling within him. "I want to learn. I want to be strong," he declared, emboldened by a strange energy in the air. "Strength, you say?" The voice deepened, resonating through the cave. "Very well. I shall grant you a taste of my power. But understand this. Through you, I may find a path back to freedom." Before he could respond, a surge of energy erupted from the gate, engulfing Ren in a whirlwind of sensation. He gasped, feeling the power coursing through him, igniting every nerve in his body. It was exhilarating yet terrifying, a sensation unlike anything he had ever known. As the energy settled, Ren stumbled back, wide-eyed and breathless. The cave felt different now, charged with a strange, potent energy. He stepped back into the light of the clearing, heart racing. Little did he know, this encounter with the Demon King was only the beginning, marking the start of a journey that would intertwine their fates in ways he could not yet imagine. Days turned into weeks after Ren's fateful encounter with the Demon King, and life in Eldergrove seemed to carry on as usual. Yet, for Ren, everything felt different. He couldn't shake the exhilaration that had surged through him that day in the cave. The power he had felt lingered just below the surface, igniting a spark of confidence in him that had never existed before. As Ren played with the other village children, he began to notice strange things happening. One afternoon, while racing his friends near the river, he leaped effortlessly over a fallen log that had previously seemed impossible to clear. His friends stared, wide-eyed, as he landed with perfect balance. "Wow, Ren, how did you do that?" asked Talia, his best friend, breathless with excitement. I don't know," Ren replied, scratching his head. "I just felt like I could." Another day, while practicing with a stick he pretended was a sword, Ren felt a surge of energy as he swung it. The stick shattered with a loud crack against a stone, leaving his friends gasping in disbelief. Murmurs spread through the village, tales of Ren's newfound abilities making their way to the elders. Concern grew among the village elders, particularly in the heart of Grandmaster Kaido, the village's most respected martial artist. He had heard whispers of Ren's feats and decided to investigate. Kaido approached Ren one sunny afternoon as the boy practiced his moves under a sprawling oak tree. "Ren," Kaido said, his voice calm but authoritative. "Can you show me what you've been practicing?" With a nervous nod, Ren picked up his stick and demonstrated a few clumsy swings. Kaido watched, his brow furrowing as he observed the boy's movements. Despite their simplicity, there was an uncanny precision to them, a fluidity that hinted at something far beyond his years. "Your movements, they're remarkable for someone so young," Kaido said thoughtfully. "But there is an edge to them that troubles me." "Edge?" Ren echoed, confused. Kaido knelt down to Ren's level, his expression serious. "They're stories of an ancient martial art known only to the demons. It is said to grant incredible power, but at a terrible cost. You must be careful." Ren's heart raced. "I just want to be strong. I want to protect my friends." "And that desire is noble," Kaido replied, "but strength must be tempered with wisdom. If you possess a power beyond your control, it could lead to dire consequences." As Kaido spoke, Ren felt a pang of fear. The words of the Demon King echoed in his mind. Power came with a price. Was he becoming like the very thing the elders warned against? "I can help you, Ren," Kaido offered, sensing the boy's turmoil. "I will train you, but you must promise to listen and learn. Together, we can harness your abilities without losing yourself." With a determined nod, Ren agreed. He felt an overwhelming sense of purpose. Training with Kaido would not only refine his skills, but also help him understand the strange powers that had awakened within him. The next few weeks were filled with rigorous training sessions. Kaido taught Ren the fundamentals of martial arts, focusing on discipline and control. As Ren honed his skills, he found himself able to tap into that lingering energy more deliberately, shaping it into focused strikes and movements. But amid the training, Ren struggled to silence the whispers of the Demon King in his mind. Each night, he dreamed of dark skies and echoing laughter, visions that both thrilled and terrified him. It was a constant reminder of the thin line he walked between power and danger. As Ren lay in bed one night, he felt a mixture of excitement and dread. He had become stronger, but he could sense that something dark was watching, waiting for him to lose control. And somewhere in the shadows, the legacy of the Demon King loomed, ever-present and increasingly powerful. Shadows of the past. Ren's training under Grandmaster Kaido intensified as the days turned into weeks. The boy felt a deepening connection to his newfound abilities, but with each session, he also sensed an unsettling presence lurking just beyond his consciousness. The memories of his encounter with the Demon King haunted him, manifesting in vivid dreams filled with dark landscapes and whispers of power. One night, after a particularly grueling day of practice, Ren awoke with a start, drenched in sweat. The shadows in his room seemed to writhe and twist, and for a moment, he thought he could hear a voice calling to him. "Ren, embrace your true potential," it whispered, echoing the seductive tone of the Demon King. Ren squeezed his eyes shut, shaking his head, desperate to banish the voice from his mind. The next day, the village buzzed with rumors. A traveling merchant had arrived, bringing tales from distant lands. Among the villagers, he was a figure of intrigue, his presence stirring both curiosity and caution. Kaido, alerted by the gossip, felt an unusual tension in the air. Something about this merchant felt off, and he decided to investigate. That evening, Kaido approached the marketplace, where villagers had gathered to hear the merchant's stories. He wore a hooded cloak that concealed his face, and his voice was deep and commanding. "I come from far and wide to share the tales of power, of strength that can change the world," he proclaimed. "And there are whispers of a boy in this village, one who has awakened a dark legacy." Kaido's heart raced as he pushed through the crowd, his instincts screaming that this man posed a threat. As he neared the merchant, he caught a glimpse of the man's eyes, which glowed a sinister red, reminiscent of the Demon King's. "Run," the merchant called, scanning the crowd. "Come forth. I know what you are capable of." Panic surged through Kaido.
"Run."
"Stay back," he shouted, trying to shield the boy from the merchant's gaze. But the crowd had parted, and Rin stood frozen, caught between fear and the allure of the merchant's words. "Do not be afraid, child," the merchant continued, his tone smooth and persuasive. "I can help you unlock your true potential. I can teach you the ways of your ancestors, the art of the demon warriors." Ren felt a strange pull towards the merchant, his heart racing with excitement at the prospect of mastering his powers. But Kaido stepped forward, placing a protective hand on Ren's shoulder. "Do not listen to him, Ren. He is not what he seems." The merchant's smile widened, revealing sharp, glistening teeth. "You misunderstand, old man. I come to offer the boy a choice: embrace his legacy or remain a mere child in a forgotten village. The path to power is before him." Ren's gaze darted between Kaido and the merchant, his mind racing. What do you mean?" he stammered, struggling to comprehend the implications of the merchant's words. "Your destiny awaits, young one," the merchant said, stepping closer, his voice low and enticing. "The Demon King lives on through you. Accept this power, and you can rule alongside him." Kaido's expression hardened. Get away from him. He knew the danger posed by the merchant's promises. Temptation often led to destruction. With a swift movement, Kaido moved to shield Ren from the dark figure. As the tension escalated, the merchant's demeanor shifted, the charm fading into something menacing.
"Very well, old man.
But know this: the darkness within him cannot be contained forever. I will return, and when I do, he will have to make a choice." With a sudden flick of his wrist, the merchant disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind an ominous silence. The villagers murmured among themselves, confusion and fear gripping their hearts. Kaido turned to Rin, who stood wide-eyed, trembling. "You must listen to me, Rin. That man is dangerous. He seeks to exploit the power within you, to turn you into a weapon. You have a choice to make, and I will help you choose wisely." Rin nodded, shaken by the encounter but resolute. He felt the weight of the legacy he had inherited pressing down on him, but he would not let it consume him. With Kaido's guidance, he would learn to control his power before the shadows of the past dragged him down into darkness. The sun hung low in the sky, casting an orange hue over Eldergrove as Rin trained with Kaido. The earlier encounter with the merchant lingered in the back of his mind, a constant reminder of the dangerous path he walked. Despite his unease, his determination to master his abilities grew stronger. "Focus, Ren. Breathe." Kaido's voice cut through Ren's swirling thoughts as he prepared for another strike. They stood in a secluded glade, the sound of rustling leaves providing a serene backdrop to their training. "Remember, power is not just about strength. It's about control and purpose." Ren nodded, pushing aside his fears. He swung his wooden sword, a little less hesitantly this time, channeling the energy he felt deep within. Each strike was more deliberate, more powerful. He had learned to tap into that power during their sessions, and now it surged through him like wildfire.
"Good.
You're improving," Kaido said, a hint of pride in his voice. "But remember, the greater your strength, the greater the responsibility. You must always choose to protect, never to harm." Just as Ren was about to respond, the air shifted around them. A chill crept into the glade, and the hairs on the back of his neck stood up. He turned instinctively, his heart racing as he spotted a figure standing at the edge of the clearing. The merchant had returned, his cloak billowing in the wind, eyes gleaming with malicious intent. "Back away, Ren," Kaido commanded, stepping in front of the boy protectively. "Oh, Kaido," the merchant said, a sly smile playing on his lips. "You still believe you can shield him from his destiny? Such a noble effort, but futile. The boy's power calls to him, and soon he will have to choose. Leave us," Kaido shouted, his stance firm and unwavering. You will not corrupt this child with your lies. Lies, the merchant laughed, the sound cold and sharp. I speak only the truth. The boy is destined for greatness, and I offer him a path to embrace that power. What do you offer, old man? A life of mediocrity. Ren felt torn, the merchant's words echoing in his mind.
I
don't want to be mediocre, he whispered, his voice barely audible. I want to be strong. Kaido turned to him, concern etched across his features. Strength without purpose leads to chaos, Ren. You mustn't forget that power can corrupt. This man seeks to use you for his own ends. Perhaps, the merchant interjected smoothly, but with power comes respect. Imagine what you could achieve, Ren. The village would sing your praises, and you would never feel weak or helpless again. Embrace your heritage. The pull of the merchant's words was intoxicating, stirring something deep within Ren. He envisioned a future where he was not just a boy from Eldergrove but a force to be reckoned with, one who could protect those he loved. What's it going to be, Ren? The merchant pressed, stepping closer, his voice dropping to a seductive whisper. Join me, and I will show you the true extent of your abilities. You can unleash the power that lies dormant within you. As they resumed their training, Ren felt a flicker of hope. He had chosen his path, and while the journey ahead would be fraught with danger, he was determined to wield his power with purpose, never forgetting the price of strength. Training and trials. Ren awoke the next morning, the echoes of the merchant's ominous words still reverberating in his mind. Despite his choice, a nagging unease settled in his chest. He pushed the thoughts away, focusing instead on his training with Kaido. Today would be another step in honing his abilities, and he needed to be ready. As the sun broke over the horizon, Ren met Kaido in the clearing. The air was fresh, filled with the sense of pine and wildflowers. Good morning, Ren, Kaido greeted, his tone warm yet firm. Today, we will test your abilities. I want to see how far you've come. Ren nodded, excitement bubbling within him. He had worked hard, mastering the basic techniques of martial arts, but he knew that tapping into his hidden powers would require more than just physical training. Let's start with focus, Kaido instructed. Clear your mind and channel your energy. Visualize it flowing through you. Ren closed his eyes, recalling the surge of power he had felt during their previous training sessions. He breathed deeply, envisioning a bright light gathering at his core, then expanding throughout his body. As he concentrated, he felt warmth spread through his limbs, a familiar energy igniting within him. Now, unleash that energy in a single strike, Kaido said, stepping back to give Ren space. With a determined shout, Ren swung his wooden sword forward, focusing all his energy into the movement. To his astonishment, the air around the blade shimmered as he executed a powerful strike, sending a wave of force that knocked a nearby stack of stones off balance. Excellent, Kaido exclaimed, his eyes wide with approval. You're learning to control your energy, but remember, power is nothing without precision. Feeling a surge of pride, Ren grinned. I can do this, Kaido. I can become stronger. Strength is important, but it's also vital to understand your limits, Kaido reminded him. Now, let's increase the challenge. I want you to practice against me. Ren's excitement was palpable as he squared his shoulders and took his stance. Kaido assumed a defensive position, his expression calm and composed. Ready when you are. With a cry, Ren charged, swinging his sword with determination. Kaido deflected the blow easily, countering with a strike of his own. Ren barely managed to dodge, feeling the rush of air as Kaido's sword swept past him. They danced around each other, strikes and counters flowing like a choreographed performance. But as the intensity of their sparring grew, Ren began to feel the strain. His energy waned, and the earlier confidence wavered. Kaido, sensing Ren's fatigue, adjusted his approach. Take a moment, Ren. Find your center again. Breathing heavily, Ren stepped back and closed his eyes, searching for that familiar warmth inside him. He focused, recalling the feeling of power flowing through him, and slowly, the energy returned. He opened his eyes, determination etched on his face. "Let's go again," he shouted, and with renewed vigor, he charged forward. This time, he was more aware of Kaido's movements, anticipating the elder's strikes, and flowing with the rhythm of the duel. As they continued, Ren felt a shift within himself. He wasn't just mimicking Kaido's techniques, he was starting to forge his own style, blending agility with the raw power that pulsed through him. Every strike was a declaration, each dodge a step toward mastery. But just as he gained momentum, Ren's instincts flared. He sensed a disturbance in the air, a dark energy creeping at the edge of his consciousness. His heart raced as he glanced around the clearing, half expecting the merchant to appear again. "Concentrate, Ren," Kaido called, sensing his distraction. "Do not let fear cloud your focus." Ren nodded, shaking off the sensation as he recommitted to the training. The day pressed on, and though he felt the weight of the darkness encroaching, he also felt stronger and more capable than ever. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the clearing, Ren realized that each training session was more than just a physical challenge. It was a battle against the shadows within himself. He had made his choice, and he would continue to fight, not just for his own power, but for the safety of his village and the people he loved. The air felt heavy as Ren awoke the next morning, the unease from his training the previous day lingering like a shadow. Kaido had sensed something during their sparring, and Ren couldn't shake the feeling that danger was closing in. The merchant's words echoed in his mind. "The darkness will find you." He could no longer ignore the weight of that warning. Ren dressed quickly and rushed to the clearing, determined to seek Kaido's guidance. As he arrived, he found Kaido sitting cross-legged on the ground, eyes closed in meditation. The sun filtered through the leaves, casting dappled light around him. Ren hesitated for a moment before breaking the silence. "Master Kaido," he said, his voice a mixture of urgency and fear. "I'm worried. I feel something's coming." Kaido opened his eyes and regarded Ren thoughtfully. "The world is in constant flux, my young friend. But your intuition is strong. What do you sense?" Ren took a deep breath, struggling to articulate the weight pressing down on him. "It feels like shadows are closing in. The merchant's words haunt me. I can't help but feel he's not finished with me yet." Kaido nodded slowly. "You are right to be concerned. The darkness you felt is a manifestation of the power you have awakened. There are forces that seek to claim that power for themselves, and they will stop at nothing." Ren swallowed hard, fear creeping into his chest. "What do we do, Master?" "We must prepare," Kaido replied, his tone resolute. "Training alone will not be enough. You need to understand your powers and how to wield them wisely. The more you learn to control the energy within you, the less vulnerable you will become." Over the following days, Kaido guided Ren through rigorous training sessions, focusing on meditation and mental discipline alongside combat techniques. They practiced not just physical strikes, but also honing Ren's ability to sense energy, both his own and that of others around him. "Feel the energy of the world, Ren," Kaido instructed during one session. "Everything around you is alive with energy. The trees, the ground, even the wind. When you can feel that connection, you'll be able to predict movements and intentions." As Ren trained, he began to experience moments of clarity, sensing the pulse of life around him. He could almost feel the heartbeat of the forest, the whispers of the leaves. But with this new awareness came the unsettling sensation of something darker lurking beneath the surface, a shadow that felt intent on disrupting his peace. One evening, while practicing in the glade, Ren's instincts flared. He stopped mid-swing, sensing an unfamiliar presence approaching. The hairs on the back of his neck prickled as he turned, spotting a figure emerging from the trees. "Ah, young Ren," the figure said, his voice smooth yet chilling. "I've come to see how you've progressed. Such potential, but still so naive." Ren turned to Kaido, heart pounding. "What do we do now?" "We prepare," Kaido said, his expression grave. "The storm is gathering, and we must be ready for whatever comes next." Ren nodded, determination igniting within him. He was ready to face the shadows, ready to protect his village, and ready to embrace the legacy he had chosen to forge.